Also is a painter that I really like, so I got a photograph of him, and I wanted to include some of his paintings. So I have, this is his Cubist period. I just printed these out. This is the old guitarist. This is from his blue period. This is the Guernica. This is from the rose period. I don't know how I'm going to include them. I just know, I don't know how many I'm going to include, and I might do part of his face Cubist. I'm not sure yet. That's like Girl Before a Mirror. So I just printed out some of his paintings. That's another picture of him. So I'm going to start out with my drawing of him. Those are just ideas that I had before I start. So I'm going to do a portrait. And it's going to be a caricature, meaning that some things are going to be exaggerated. So I'm just getting the shape of his face. I'm going to do it normal first, and then I'm going to see what I want to exaggerate. Just kind of getting general shapes in here. The ears are too low, and they're too big. Hold on. About where the nose is. So I'm just making them a little bit smaller. I'm just getting shape. Maybe a little lower for the nose. I'm just trying to, get things in the right place right now. Yeah, that looks about right. Okay. So I'm working very lightly because I'm not quite sure what I'm going to exaggerate or what I'm going to do. I'm just kind of seeing what I'm trying to get the features in the right place first. And the hair. Looks like there's kind of like a sideburn here. Before I do anything, I'm gonna look like this is a painting that he made that's called A Weeping Woman. And I like it. It's sad, but I was thinking of doing part of his face in that style to kind of show that it was him. But I'm not sure. So let me see if I can do that. Those are just ideas. I don't know how this is going to turn out. All right. I think that would be cool if I could do that. I'm just experimenting. He's known as the inventor of Cubism with George Braque, so I'm trying to do something like that. Maybe even imitating some shapes from his painting. Now maybe have one eye be like the style of the Weeping Woman, which would be a weird style. So it's like the caricature is coming from one of his paintings. Maybe it will work out. It wasn't as hard as I thought. So I want it to be like half of his face. And you can do it of anyone. So like if you're doing it of a gardener, you could like include flowers, right? But I'm doing it of a painter, so I'm trying to include his style of painting as the cartoon, and the style of painting is cartoon-like. This is far from finished. I'm just kind of experimenting. Seeing kind of what it would look like. All right, so I'm going back to his regular portrait. Maybe have this side of the nose be like that. I'm not sure yet though. And then that might work out. It's going to take me a while to get this planned out on the paper. I'm going to try to make this side normal and this side kind of cubist, if I can. I'm just looking at the ear shape. I'm going to enhance later. I'm just kind of trying to get it. That doesn't look right. Because it's higher. Okay, hold on. It's too high. All right, that's about the same size. No, something's wrong here. This is not, this needs to be out more. Just trying to make it kind of even. And it's going to take me quite some time to get this how I want it. He's known, well, I was going to say he's known for wearing a black and white striped shirt, but I'm going to save that for later because I might want to put something on his shirt. I'm kind of trying to make him like a caricature of one of his paintings, if that makes sense. But I'm seeing what I would want to add. I want to add some of the characters in his paintings, but I'm not sure which ones yet, to the background, kind of like as a caricature of him. Let me see his hair. You can interpret this assignment any way you want. Like a little, you kind of see a little sideburn. Okay. I'm just seeing where I could fit the characters. They're kind of like products of his imagination. And I'm going to take elements from some of his paintings. This one, I'm putting this up here because he had a lot of ideas. Actually, maybe I'll put it right above. So it's from Guernica. So I'm doing the light. It's like a light in this thing. And I'm going to erase this. So that's from Guernica. So I want to put like some things, like if you knew him, like some of the things will about your person I might not know, and some of the things about him you might not know. I'm just showing you the process. If you knew his paintings, you would know some of these images. So I'm going to put maybe I'm going to try to put in one of these characters, maybe this guy on the side. So it's like he's thinking, this is one of the styles of his painting, and he's thinking up. He's imagining, which is the light, these characters. I'm going really light because I'm going to have to, make changes and make sure everything fits in the right way. See, I already have to move this. So you can do something like that, or a comic strip, or a cartoon. And this is cartoony. Kind of all the pictures I've made for this class are cartoony, which is fine. But I wanted to be something that someone who knew Picasso, because not all people know a lot about art, but would recognize these characters. I'm going to have to move him over a little bit. And then I'm looking at the other characters and trying to see which ones I might want. Oh, in other parts. And I'm thinking on the other side, I might have this one, the girl with the dove. I need to move it over. So I might not know, like if your character is like Joe Biden or a senator, I might not know that much about them. But if you're doing a caricature, you don't have to. You can totally do a cartoon with something from your imagination. You can do like an anime character. You can do a comic strip. It can be from your imagination, or a continuation of like a comic strip that you like. But if you do a caricature of someone that's kind of famous, try to pick in, if you put in other images, try to pick things that we would recognize about them. You also, like the Donald Trump one, they just made his hair snakes. That's kind of easy to read. He's a snake. Or in that person's opinion, he's a snake. Maybe some of them might be like disappearing behind him. I'm still kind of figuring out how I'm going to place them. That's why I'm going so light. But they're like supposed to be things that are springing from his head. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to kind of get all the characters in, make a thick pencil line, and then I'm going to come back and then color it. It took me a long time to do this. So to see the whole thing, There's the old guitarist from the Blue period, some characters from the Blue period. These two are characters from the Rose period. This face is in Cubist style, and that's the caricature. And I'm going to start adding color to it. It took me a long time to get that how I wanted it to look. But you don't need to see the whole thing. So I'm going to start with my blue period character. So I'm going to get my blues. Lower this. Oops. I have to do something else to him. Okay, I didn't put in his hands. Oh well. So I'll start with these guys. That's okay. So I'm going to do their hats in dark blue. The Blue period, I mean, I would, this is just a person that I would paint or draw as a caricature because it's just someone I know a lot about and someone I admire. So it's Picasso. But you can do anyone you want, and you can make a social commentary, make fun of the person. I'm kind of portraying him as a caricature of one of his paintings and kind of as a genius because I think he is one and I really like his paintings. Okay, let's see. I'm going to do his, this is an old man. Whoops, I forgot something. And a young boy eating an apple. It's one of his paintings. And I'm just erasing some of the sketch marks. I'm going to do his hair in a light blue because it's white. He's old. These characters were Blue period characters that were all in blue. And the blue was supposed to show sadness, a sad mood. And most of the characters were like homeless or poor. So those are some of the characters that he painted. So they really are blue. The whole painting is a monochromatic blue painting. I'm just thinking about what color I'm going to do his shirt, and I'm going to do the royal blue. So I'm trying to kind of make a cartoon, but these characters are actual characters from his paintings. And he's sitting, there's a boy sitting, it's an old man and a young boy sitting together, and it looks as if they're like kind of begging for food in the painting. Color was something he was really good at, so let me do his apple blue. I was thinking of making it red, but I'm going to make it blue. And his hair blue. And I'll do his shirt, a turquoise. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do with their faces yet. Okay, so since I'm going with the blue period was like his first well-known period. I'm actually going to do his shirt blue too. And the old guitarist is going to be blue. I'm trying to have like different periods like kind of merging into each other. And I'm doing this as fast as possible. I mean, like, I would spend more time on this, but I'm trying to do it fast for the videos. And I'm trying to give you an idea of what I was thinking when I was doing it, although you're going to do your own creative piece. I made kind of a wavy line, some wavy lines on his shirt. I need to find a lighter blue for his skin, but I can find one. Okay, so now I'm going to get my really dark blue for this. For the top of his shirt. And I might do his face in blue. I'm not sure yet. I still have to figure that out. I'm doing the clothes of the old guitarist in really dark blue because that's how they are in the painting. He's like an old guitar. I think the other part of his clothes run off here. He's like a guitar player, but he's an old man and he looks homeless. Again, the sadness of the blue period, and that's what I'm trying to portray here. And then here I'm going to do this blue. So the blue is kind of taking over at least the bottom of this cartoon. Whoops. Okay, so now I'm going to go underneath with the turquoise. I'm going to do the other side. Okay, so now I'm going to look. Just want to see what color this one is. That's that one. Okay. All right, I'm going to leave that alone for right now. And I'm going to go to this side. Whoops. Hold on. I'm going to go to this side of his face, and I want to make it bright and colorful, like the painting. So I got some reds, oranges, violets, yellows. I'm going to do his eye red too. I'm going to go red violet over here. And yellow over here. And this is supposed to show like his genius, his passion. I'm going to go orange right here. So it's like cool, warm, just differentiations and things. On his ear, I'm going to do this Cubist ear color. So part of his painting, part of his face is realistic and part of it is abstract. And out here, I'm going to do a pink. Some red for this part of the lips. And some red in some of these shapes. Some violet. I'm going to do this shape. Violet as well. Maybe this one too. Some orange. Maybe some, I'll put some blue in here too. Okay. I'm getting my pink for this shape and this shape. And here I'm going to go red. I'm just trying to do something that kind of looks like his artwork. Okay, that's one part. And now I'm going to look up here. Oops. These people are standing in hills, so I decided to make the hills green. It also goes with the blues. I'm just checking the time so I don't make this one too long. And I'll make this hill the same color. He was really good at color, so I want to make this colorful to represent him. I put some things over here that's supposed to be like music coming out of the guitar. I don't know what color I'm going to make them yet. An abstract representation of music. Okay, so now I'm going to get some green, a different green, excuse me. This is a little bit darker. And you want to know who it is. You want like the viewer to be able to recognize who you're drawing. And that's why if you're doing a caricature, that's why it should be some sort of public figure. I don't want to make the colors too loud, although they already are kind of loud. I want them to work together well. I'm just looking at my greens that I have. I'm going to use a different green here that's more of a sea green. And I mean, like Picasso, you might not know what Picasso looks like, but like someone who has studied art, he's a very famous artist, so they would know what he looked like. I'm just looking for where this edge would be. And then just checking the time. I'm going to go dark green again above that. These two characters are from the Rose period. These two are from the Blue period. This top thing is from the Guernica. And then this is from the Cubist phase. So trying to represent different phases of his paintings in this caricature. All right, since I've gone long in this minute and fill in some parts of that, let me lift this up so you can see it. So these are the Rose period people. These are the Blue period people. In the sky, I did blue and rose coming from. This is like a sun, but it's part of the Guernica, which is a light bulb and something that looks like an eyeball. And I did this part of his face in Cubism. But it's not outlined yet. So let me outline and fill in. I'm just checking the time. Okay. So there's still a lot more. It always looks better to me, especially if you're doing something cartoony or caricature-y, if it's outlined. Remember, you can use any medium you want. You can do a caricature, a cartoon, or a comic. This one is not working. Hold on. Yeah, that one's much better. It's going to take me a while to do this too. All right, let me go to, I'm gonna go up here to the clouds. It's easier if you go, you can't see what I'm doing from top to bottom. There's the beak. This one is called Girl with a Dove, I think. So these characters are from the Rose period. I told you a little bit about the Blue period. They're from his paintings of the Rose period. The Rose period was right after the Blue period, and those are my favorite periods of his work. And they were in all colors. Not the Blue period was almost all blue monochromatic. Rose period was all colors, but including roses, oranges, and reds, which gave the paintings a happier mood than the Blue period. And people think the Blue period had to do with him going through a sad time in his life, and the Rose period had to do with him moving into a happier time in his life, expressed through color. And the paintings look happier because they have bright, warm colors. And the Rose period people are kind of a lot of circus characters, which this guy is. Whoops. One of my favorite artists has always been Picasso since I was little, so that's why I did him. I know a lot about him, so it was easy for me to do a caricature of him, a cartoon of him. It might be harder for me to do like one of someone. I mean, all I can think of is Donald Trump because I don't really know that much about him, you know? But Picasso is kind of well known enough for people to recognize him. And these are like rays of light in rose and the sky is in blue. I was just playing with the colors again. I wanted this to be like a sun. This is from the Guernica, a famous painting about a battle, about the bombing of the town Guernica in Spain. And it's in black and white, but it's very abstract. I originally put some of the characters in the painting, but there were too many. And it's one of it's his most famous painting, I believe. So I did the people from the Rose period with red hair. And this is a saltimbanque or like a clown, a circus performer. And a lot of the saltimbanks or circus performers wear checkered like tights, or they wore them in that time in France. So I tried to do the checkers and rows. I may fill the white ones out in black. I'm not sure yet. Okay, I'm going to push down. And this is supposed to be a caricature of him and what he imagined, because what he imagined was so amazing. So this isn't a caricature that's making fun of someone. It's kind of like a caricature that's honoring someone. I'm kind of portraying his imagination. That's what I'm trying to portray. There we go. I don't show you everything because you don't need to see me like filling in stuff for like 2 hours. I think I'm showing you enough, or I hope I'm showing you enough. Okay, so let's do these hills. I tried to make the color harmonious and also be some of the color from his different paintings. Whoops, I went too far there. So this girl, the girl with the dove, has one ball on this side of her, but I couldn't put it in his hair, so I put 2 balls below her, and I put 2 just to add like harmony to the color repetition. At first I was like, I don't know who I'm gonna do. Should I do Donald Trump? And I was like, well, I'm so glad I figured this out. It worked out much better for me to do someone that I like and that I know about. And I was looking up like famous people, actresses, actors, but then I figured out Picasso is kind of famous, so I'll do him. I barely know anything about famous people. There we go. And the outline is making it look much more interesting. defining it. Okay. Let me go into his face. So this part of his face is it's from a weeping woman painting, which is one of his examples of Cubism. So in this caricature of him, I have the blue period, the rose period, and Cubism. Guernica is kind of Cubism too, in a way. And I didn't exaggerate his features except for that I made them Cubist. So that's the caricature. So normally caricatures would be like, if someone had a slightly big nose, you would make it, kind of bigger. If they had big eyes, you would make them a lot bigger. So they would look exaggerated, kind of like they're popping out of their head. And then that is something that's a part of them and shows their personality in real life, but then exaggerated, it kind of exaggerates parts of their personality. I'm going to go black in here. And in here. Remember, you can also do a cartoon or a comic strip. Okay, just checking the time. And I'll probably be able to finish before I have to end this video. And hopefully you could recognize this side of him. This eye is abstract, like one of his paintings. Oops, that's not. He has really dark brown eyes and brown hair. I'm just continuing some of the abstract work on that side of the face. I didn't want to make it too busy. Like, I had more characters in. I tried to put like some characters in here from Guernica, but I took them out because I didn't want it to make it. You can make something too complicated. So I wanted to make it kind of complicated, but you can overdo it. So I had overdone it at first. So I took some of them out. And like, that's a lot of the work, is just getting it right. Like, I had all those paintings, I put some in, then I took some out. Then I put some more in, and just getting something that works. You know what I mean? It doesn't happen in like 1 second. You kind of have to do some sketches and see, what's going to work and what's not. But once, if you just do it like the way I started, which you should start, just put down whatever's in your mind on a piece of paper. But know that, especially if you're using multiple images or multiple characters, you might have to move them around before you get what you're finally going to put down and like color and make, you know what I mean? And that's just a part of the process. Sometimes it can be time consuming. Sometimes it takes a while to get the thing that you're looking for. You haven't, but you start with an idea. All right. Can you lower this? I'm almost done, actually. I didn't finish his hands, but oh well. I'm going to make them simple. You know what? I have to stop and make a new one. I just realized that. No, I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't want to go over. This is the old guitarist. This is the old beggar and the boy. This is Girl with the Dove. And this is, I think, called Saltimbanks. And his face is from Weeping Women. Those are his paintings that I'm using. I'm just going to make his hand an abstract shape. This is his guitar. Here's the blue. Here's the side of his shirt. So it didn't come out like this, like what I was trying to say before. Is like, I think it looks okay. I'm happy with it for a caricature or a cartoon. But this took me altogether like 4 or 5 hours. I know it doesn't look like that, but like to get the ideas together, to sketch it, to get everything in the right place, and then to move things around, figure out what I was going to leave in, take out, figure out the colors. So, I mean, it's more complicated than it may look. All right, let me raise this up. But I'm happy with it. I think it represents Picasso. Let me lower it so the shadow gets off. I like it.